Welcome back everyone to our gameplay series of NASCAR Heat 3. So we're going to give it another shot. After a successful race at Pocono, we're going to give it another shot at Michigan. Now if you look in the top right hand corner, you can see we are really narrowing in on the playoffs at this point. So I'm going to try to run one, maybe two more races before the playoffs start, and then we'll see how we do once it becomes playoff time. So we are ready for Michigan. Before we prepare our car for Michigan, I want to take a quick look at the standings because things are getting really interesting. So if we pull up the playoff standings, of course, we're in 12th position right now, and there are a couple more winners below us, but the most interesting thing to me is only two people right now are in a position to get in on points. So they have a lot of stress heading into these final few races before the playoffs, because if we get any new winners, they could be out. So that should be very interesting. Let's also take a quick look at the schedule. So we go Michigan, and then Bristol, Darlington, and then finally Indianapolis before we get started with the playoffs at Vegas. So now it is time to get prepared for the race. And before we do that, if you look in the top right-hand corner, you see that we have 8.2 million, and that is enough to get us one more upgrade in either aero or suspension. But because of future plans that I have for the suspension, we're going to go ahead and upgrade our aerodynamics from 95 to 100. It costs us $7.8 million, but that's perfectly fine. That's what we've been saving for. So now we have a 195 car in the Cup Series, which is pretty amazing to have at this particular point. You would think it would take a lot longer than this, but effectively 2 seasons has gotten it for us. All right, now we can come in and adjust our work plan. Let's go to the Speedway chassis, and we need to get it as high as we can get it anyway. All right, actually, let's go ahead and do the other one, but then there's something else I want to check. See if we can do a little bit of training, because we might have just enough money to do just that. So let's find out. All right, employees. Let's do training employee. We need to find, all right, we got aero. We got 456,000. Okay, yeah, so we don't quite have enough money. So we can move Rachel up to 13. That's perfectly fine. So not quite as much as I was hoping for, but again, there's a lot more money to be made in the rest of this season. So now we come back into our work plan, and we can go ahead and start this work plan. Let's see what we get. So we've got bay number 1, 100, 96, and 95. And then our short track chassis, we've also started on as well. Okay, everything's looking good. Let's head to Michigan. All right, folks, it is race time here at Michigan. And we'll be starting just outside the top 10 in 11th position. So, and just as I feared, somebody had to drop to the rear of the field, which is going to put us up on the outside. But in this case, I'm not sure that's such a terrible thing, because on the start here, the AI raced this track. We've talked about it multiple times in this game. The AI raced this track very weird, in that they run it like Indy cars, right around the bottom all the way around. So that is not even remotely close to realistic in any way, shape, or form. So I have no idea how the developers decided that that's the way they needed to do it. But for whatever reason, that's the way it is. And so we're going to try to work through this as best we can. But right now, I want to see how much speed we've got. As we've been doing recently, this is only a 13% race. I've had to back it down from the 25% race to try to hopefully save a lot of frustration with the AI. So we'll see how that works out. I have high hopes there. All right, so we're sort of stuck here on this outside right now, but basically running where we started. And so we do have fairly good speed because, again, we're up on this outside, and it's a little harder to pass up here unless I get right down on these guys on the bottom. Anytime you're running this track wide open, or even very close to wide open, the shortest distance around usually wins.
Stand high here. Stand high. Careful. Still there. Clear low, bud. Clear low.
All right, so that clears us out of a little bit of traffic that we were in at the beginning of the race, and now gets us not only inside the top 10 and in position for stage points, but also it moves us up a little bit closer to the front here, because we certainly have some speed for these guys.
Still there.
See, Kyle Larson went to the high side, which is where I really, really want to be. Oh, look out. Drove it in there maybe a little bit too hard. So coming to 2 to go here in stage number 1. Let's see what we got. So for my purposes, I mean, we always want to win, but as long as we can just have some good, clean racing, that's really all I care about at this point. If the AI will just allow that to happen, then I will be a happy man, regardless of what our finishing position is.
Careful now. Still there.
All right, we got a nice run on Blaney. He did not get off of turn 2 good at all.
Still there. Bottom lane's clear.
And it looks like we're going to be able to clear him. But again, you noticed, I mean, they stick to that bottom, and they don't come off of it very much at all. Just one of those times where I start to wonder if the developers of this game have ever even seen a NASCAR race. All right, let's see if we can get to the inside of Blaney this time. Having a good race with Blaney, though. As we come to the checkered flag here in stage 1. Looks like we're going to get a top 5 out of this. Very nice. I will certainly take a top 5 here in stage 1 after 11th place finish in only 6 laps. So very nice. Now, of course, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really help us a whole lot as far as the points, but hey, anytime you're in the top 5, that is a good thing. So, of course, we're not going to pit. No reason to do that. And let's advance it on and get started with stage 2.
All right, you're coming to the green. Be ready.
This time we will be on the inside, which is going to make it, while normally a good thing, this time is going to be a pretty precarious position to put us in, because these guys are going to pinch us down pretty hard. All right, so these guys appear to be lifting a little bit. All right, there we go. Now they're up to speed. So again, I'm trying to give them some room. Let them get up to speed. Let everybody get up to speed. And let's just sort of figure out where we shake out. I'm definitely lifting in the corners right now. Especially running this line. So you can see the draft in effect there as everybody is motoring their way around Kyle Busch right now, who is stuck on the outside with no drafting help.
Stay low. Still there. Clear all around.
Let's see if Denny Hamlin will give us room. He does.
Still there. Car high. Careful now. Easy.
Oop, got down on the flat there. That is normally not that big a deal, but the way we're running this setup right now is a little bit too loose to get down there. So we'll back up. We'll try it again. Yeah, Kyle Busch just having some issues. He can't really keep it down on the bottom right now.
Still there.
Ooh, same thing with Denny Hamlin. That was Wow, there. Oh, look out. We're going for a slide. Almost wrecked it trying to keep off of Denny Hamlin. Yeah, these guys are off the throttle quite a bit on corner entry, which makes sense given the line they're running, but is messing with me quite a bit.
Still there. Careful. Still there.
All right, so now it's us that's stuck on the outside. Let's see if we can make this thing work and just sort of hold our position long enough to maybe get right back by the 9 car. Oh, look out.
Still there.
But I would consider this some good racing. I mean, it's odd with the line we're running, but so far so good with the AI. We're having pretty good time here. Now we're stuck behind the 11 car here, so I have really no interest in being stuck behind him on the high side. But right now we just don't have much of a choice.
Couple more turns. 2 more. 2 to go.
All right, 2 to go. So we're just going to have to take our medicine right here for right now. And I'm just going to try to back off a little bit and let these guys run.
Inside. Hang tight there, driver. Hold this line here.
Fortunately, we don't really need the stage points.
Hang tight there, driver. Hold this line here. Hang tight there, driver. Hold this line here.
Oh, look out. Okay. That was nice.
White flag to them.
Running right behind Denny Hamlin, and somebody got into our left rear and tried to turn us around. That must have been Kyle Busch.
Need you to stay on the bottom.
All right, so now we're going to be able to get back to the bottom, and let's see what we can do here in the final corner of the stage. Got a nice run on Kyle Busch.
Hang tight there, driver.
And
Hold this line here.
Truex, can we get there? Not quite.
Then in that stage,
All right, so we'll come home in 6th position. So again, not bad. Not quite the top 5 from stage 1, but we will certainly take that. And we got 12 more laps remaining in the race, and so far so good. I'm enjoying the racing against the AI, and that is the most important thing.
Starter has the green flag. Be ready here. Careful now. Still there.
All right, some things don't change. We are way ahead of these guys on acceleration, but then they come back on us not long after that, as you can see here.
Down low. Inside.
So we get through the gears better, but once we get to 4th gear, these guys are running more RPMs and more horsepower than what we've got.
Careful now. Still there.
All right, are we clear? Okay, yes, we are clear. It would be nice if my spotter would talk to me a bit more and let me know if we're clear or not, but I had no idea. A big part of me was thinking that there was somebody on our inside, but it turned out not to be the case. All right, so we got a nice run on Truex here going into turn 3. All right, sitting here in 4th, where we have 7 laps left to go in the race, and let's see what we can do. Again, I don't like this line we're running at all. So I'm trying to be extremely careful around these guys because they are pinching it pretty tight.
Stay low. Stay low. Careful now. Still there.
All right, so we find ourselves on the podium position for now.
Driver.
And we're going to try to hold on to this third spot and get clear of the 22. And there we go. So now we get clear of him. Let's see if we got anything for these top two cars. I feel like we're faster than these guys, but at the same time, it's going to be hard to get by them. I'm going to have to time our move very nicely in order to make it happen. Right now, I'm kind of hoping that Truex gets to the inside of the 9 car, and then maybe we can follow him through. Alright, so we got a nice run on these guys right now. I'm going to try the bottom down here and see if we can get some room. This is not a good position to be in on corner entry.
Careful now, still there.
Alright, we're hanging in there so far. And let's see if we can maintain this position and hopefully get by Truex.
Still there. Stay on the bottom here for me. Hang tight there, driver. Hold this line here.
Alright, we need Elliott to come down in front of us, give us that draft.
Still there.
Because Truex is hanging in there quite nicely on our outside. Alright, so now we're clear of Truex. So it's just us and Chase Elliott right now, with just a few laps left to go in the race. So we're in a great position. Now we'll be able to see one-on-one if we can pull away and decide this amongst ourselves. So he's got some nice speed right there. That was a very good corner for him.
Couple more turns. 2 more. 2 to go.
We'll close in a little bit using the draft. Oh, he did not get through turn 1 and 2 nearly as good. All right, good news is we're sort of pulling away from 3rd and 4th position as they battle. But I'm not sure we've got anything for Chase Elliott here with just 1 lap to go. We're certainly going to give it a shot. And I might be able to get under him right here. Okay, he's going to give us a little bit of room.
Still there.
Oh, look out. We got a bump. All right, can we make it stick? That was not a great corner for either one of us. But you can see he's battling back on the outside. We need to keep position here going into the final corner.
Stay low. Stay low. Still there.
If we can maintain this position, hopefully we can beat him to the line. This is going to be close. Oh no, he is just
Still there.
blasting by us coming off that final corner.
That's amazing.
So not quite. We didn't quite have what we needed to get by him, but that was some fun racing. That's the kind of racing I'm hoping for. All right, this is working to try to restore some of my faith in the AI in this game. So let's see how much money we come out of here with. So $214,000 for the finishing position. But of course, that merchandise payout is the big deal for us. And we come out of there with quite a bit of money. $1.3 million now in the bank. So we're now currently sit in, as far as the regular season point standings, 17th. So not bad, considering how many spots we've had to make up in recent weeks. All right, some very fun racing, very close to a victory. We were about a half car length away. We will certainly take that. So a little over $1 million that we made in that one race. And that should, yes, it does put us over 10 million fans. Plus extra contract payout for the incentive. And Paul Menard, thank you very much. Anyone else think Neil Pittler is the best? All right, so that's going to bring us to week 26. And we're not going to worry about feelers for teams and Bristol. So now I got a decision to make. Do I want to run Bristol? Now the answer to this is always yes. But in our current situation, do I want to run Bristol? I'll have to make that decision and we'll find out the results next time. But for now, thank you very much for joining me. And stay tuned as we will continue our Making It Fun series in NASCAR Heat 3.